welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. This is Kaminki. This is a new mod map out from Kaminoo and Pavelk 20. I did, was it Kijoviec recently, which was Pavelk 20, wasn't it? There's been a few recently. Sadkow as well, I think, wasn't it? Anyway, it does say this is a small map with Polish atmosphere from Farming Simulator 2017, which I'm assuming was on PC because we didn't have this map on console. Pretty sure we didn't. This is a tiny map, as you can see. Very small indeed. And I think pretty much this map tour is going to be done on foot. Is it complete? Yeah, I mean, I think so. There's a few issues. We'll go through the issues later on, but there are a few issues. I'm on New Farmer. I do my map tours on New Farmer. This is 214.83 megabytes to download. It's a very, very small map. Now, with that, you would think it would come with a very, very low slot count. The slot count on New Farmer is 419, which is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be, out of 1299. On Farm Manager, that drops down to 405, and it's the same on Start From Scratch. And on all three, you start with the same farming equipment. The difference between New Farmer and the other two is that on New Farmer, this one, you start with two modded sheds that you don't get on Farm Manager or Start From Scratch. So if we just click on this, on New Farmer, there are 4 farms on this map. Now, this is where things get a little bit weird. We own this one on New Farmer, and that's cows. We own this one, which is pigs, and we own this one, which is sheep. That one there is a farmhouse with chickens, but according to that, technically we don't own it. But here's the thing, if I click on that to buy it, that plot of land there is tied up with the rest of it, which is 23,901,528 to buy. I think I'll steer away from chickens for the time being. As far as the rest of the field prices go, really, really cheap. I mean, they are tiny fields, so it's hardly surprising. I think one of the biggest ones is field 54 for 45 grand, maybe field 1, 35. Now, we have got a sawmill, and there's not a lot of logging to be done. It's not like there's a forest. All this stuff around the outside is part of the big periphery, and you can't actually get to it. Now, there's also something to point out now as well. On Farm Manager and Start From Scratch, you don't own these farms. Okay? Now, when I came on to check the slot count on Farm Manager and Start From Scratch, you don't have the animal pens either. So I thought, oh, it's because you don't own them. So I'll buy them. So I bought them, still didn't get the animal pens. So I'm assuming that's going to have to be fixed, because if you do come on Farm Manager or Start From Scratch, you've got no animals. Even if you buy those plots, I mean, you can put in your standard in-game pens if you can find somewhere else to put them, but they weren't there. There were no triggers. There was nothing that would work for them. So, a bit weird. Anyway, as far as sale points goes, we've got the barn, sawmill, Skup Fabianski, Skup Wiecki, I think it is, and Ukrisi. That one is your main sell point, but weirdly, it's actually on the map itself, on the ground, it's labelled up as something different. But again, we'll get to that in a little while. Contracts are available, like so. There are no custom crops on this, and the only mods I could find on here were the 2 barns. So if I go across to placeables, if we go down to sheds, it's that shed there is the only mod I could find. There are no modded animal pens. The farmhouses are all locked in place as well. You can't move those. They're there and that's kind of stuck. So we're going to cross the road and go straight into the pig farm, which is directly opposite where we start. We start kind of just north of central. That direction is east, that's north, west and south. So we're now east. So the pig farm is just here. Everything's very overgrown as you go around. There's lots of grass and stuff growing up through all of the yards. But we've got some barn space, building space, shelter space. I think that's manure, and that's your slurry pit. again, this could be broken. You'll understand why as well when we get onto the animals, the rest of the animals. I'll explain why in a second. Feed and water troughs down the side there. Straw for bedding is there. The buy, sell, load or unload point is here. So what I've started doing, or trying to do on map tours now, is see how many animals they will take. So I kept on going, and I think it went up to about 500. When I click confirm, the game crashed. Now I don't think it's supposed to be that many. Like I said, you'll see when we get onto the other animal pens. So this is your pigs. And it might be broken. But that's your pig farm. From here, we're going to head up. Now, again, it's one of those frustrating things. The texturing's great. The colour palette's really nice. I think I said that with Kieviec, I think. Am I saying that correctly? I said the same thing with that. I do like the colour palette. At places, it's a little bit clunky where roads join and bits like that. But again, there are plenty of maps that are like that. So we are now at the northern end of the map. That's it. We've gone from pretty much the middle to the northern end. In here we've got our sawmill with our unload point for lumber and our wood chip sell point, which is just there. Again, very overgrown, so maybe a bit of landscaping would be in order. Assuming, of course, it will let you. Not all maps do. And then across the road we've got our BGA. Now the BGA is only... it was very cheap. Sorry, wrong one. Biogas plant is 26,831 to buy. We've got a line point just here to the side, one bunker silo, and then we've got our sell point tip in for the digesters just there. The digestate tank is this one here. That's where you get your byproduct from when it's all done. So that's the biogas plant. When purchased, the biogas plant will pay 360 for silage, which is pretty good. So we're going to head down. Like I said, there are some trees knocking about for logging, but not a forest per se. So what we're going to do now is take the next turning and we're going to head east. Taking the scenery as we go. It would be a little bit quicker in a tractor or a vehicle, but honestly the map's not that big, we can walk around it, it's not a problem. So as we come round, we come to another sell point. This one is Ukrisi. This one is for, if I recall correctly, it's for eggs and milk. Let's check it. Yep, eggs and milk. The Skup Fabianski, which we'll get to, will do, that's your spinnery, and it does milk, so spinnery and milk. And like I say, the Skup Vietski is your main sell point, that's the main one on the map. We do have a barn sell point, which we'll see in just a moment, so that's that one. We go a little bit further along. It's very, very, I mean, this is a map for tiny machinery. I would even argue that the machinery you start with is a little bit too big and that's crazy because it is small stuff. So, I forgot to show you over at the pig farm, one of the farmhouses is a sleep trigger there, but sleep trigger just here at the second of the farmhouses. Barn space, drive through shelter. Now watch what's going to happen. It's going to work now, isn't it? This is your sheep pen, sort of. Nope, it's not working. The trigger here for the sheep, I can't get to work. Pressing L3, nothing's coming up. It's a tiny little pen. Your feed trigger's there, your water trigger is just there. This will hold 5 sheep, that's it. That's what makes me wonder about the pig one. How I could get up to 500 and the game crashed. This will hold 5, it's tiny. And the trigger won't work here. But the way I managed to get it to work I'll show you in just a second, because directly opposite we have got, through here, this is Fabianski, this is your milk sell point. There is a milk sell point, wool and cotton. Here is the barn sell point. and just here is your livestock market. So if you click on livestock market, we've got chicken coop, sheep pasture. If I do it on here, it will allow me to buy the huge amount of 5 sheep from here, but the trigger won't work over there. So if you want to deliver your own sheep, I mean it's not far to go, is it? I suppose you can walk them across the road. That's how you're going to have to do it. So yeah, I envisage an update at some point fairly soon, I would think, but we will see. So that's the second of the farms. So that's pigs and sheep. We're going to head down the road. As we loop around the bottom of the road, we are now at the bottom of the map. So there we go, that's how big it is. This is the store we're coming up on now. Now again, another reason why this is going to be for very small machinery is the store point, entrance and exits. I mean, you'll get a smallish harvester. You might get a larger harvester through there as long as you've got the header behind it. Quite small. Buy point is just here, but there's no workshop here. But don't worry, we'll get to that in a minute as well. So this is the main store. We are on the map. We've come from the biogas plant, round down here, Ukrisi, the sheep pen, livestock market, Skup Fabianski, and the animal dealer. We come round the bottom. We're at the shop. Now we're going to head to Skup Vietski. It's what baffled me, because as I came round the map, as a quick kind of whiz round to just make sure I kind of knew where I was going, I got to the sign and thought, oh, that's not on the thing. That says Spoza. Not what it says on the... So I thought, hang on a minute. So I went in and I checked. I went down the list. I thought, oh, it's not on there. So I was going to say, man, we've got a sell point that's not on there. It's actually that sell point. Like I said, if you go to the map, that's what it says very clearly. But the sign says something different. It just threw me a little bit, but anyway, that's your sell point. This is going to be a tip to the side job, like so. We can drive right the way around this and back out the other side. So, moving across the bottom part of the map even further, we will go up a little bit and take the next turning on the left. This is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but some people love these, love the tiny maps. Just get a few small bits of machinery, just do a little bit of livestock, a little bit of crops, and you just kind of tick over. It's a much more sedate and easygoing kind of existence, I suppose. I'm trying to think, where did I see the bits of road that I said it was a little bit clunky? Anyway, this is your workshop, which is separate to the actual store. So when we come along the road a little bit, we've got a workshop here. The trigger's just there. And the actual point where you put your vehicles in is just there. I love the fact you've got a kind of semi-open pit there. Like I say, there's some really, really nice details on this. It does explain, I suppose, why the slot count is a little bit higher, because there is a lot of detail. There's a lot of texture and there's a lot going on for a very small map. Right, and then carrying on around the bottom. So we're now heading west. Well, we were heading west before, but we're heading west, and we're going to go round to the third and fourth of the... Oh, there we go, look. So we've got a couple of sort of clunky bits. I only noticed as I was walking around before, as some of the traffic came along, it kind of did a weird kind of jolt as it went over a couple of these ridges. So it just made me think it was just a little bit clunky here and there. But again, I've seen worse maps as well, but it is what it is. So as we come round, we have got this point here, and this is the one that I said technically we don't own this. It's not showing that we own it, but there's a sleep trigger there, so that's the third. Some buildings just here. Now it is letting me, and the triggers are here for chickens. So there's your trigger for buying, selling, well not loading or unloading, buying or selling. Your egg box trigger is there, and your feed trigger is just here. This will hold 40 chickens. So I suppose technically you don't have to own it. But like I say, just beware if you come on Farm Manager or start from scratch, because you won't have any of them. I suppose the thing to do is just come on New Farmer, sell everything off, lease and return loads of equipment and get down to where you want to be, and you can technically start it as a start from scratch or farm manager if you want to, or add money in if you want to have more money, however you want to go about it. Sometimes that's the only way to go if you want to start one of these maps straight away and there are any issues you find. So across the road, literally directly opposite, we've got the last of the farms. I think the farmhouse is here. No, where was the farmhouse? What's the next building over? Maybe. The turning is just here. Now this is where all your vehicles are, all your machinery you start with. This is also where the cow barn is. Oh, it's here. That's your fourth house and sleep through the night trigger. So machinery's all here. We've got a couple of little buildings for a little bit of storage here and there. There is a bit of a sort of hayloft, but getting stuff into it might be a little bit tricky because there's not actually an opening for it. Like I say, very tight yards. You do start off with the Stara, and you start off with the little Voucher A, is it? I think this is. We've got the Bison. We'll have a look at the starting equipment in a second. But even that was a little bit tricky getting around. Nice details on the buildings and stuff. We do have a trailer in here as well with drive-through building. So what we'll do now is have a look at our starting equipment. Stara ST Max 105, Voucher A 104, Bison Super Z056, Strautmann SEK 802, the header for the Bison, a rail cultivator, seeder and the 2 sheds. But then, like I say, farm manager and start from scratch, you don't have the 2 sheds, but you do have everything else. If you sell everything, you can get the slot count down to 322. So you can bring it right down to 322 and then go from there if you want to. Now, cows are only 5 as well. So we've got 5 sheep, 5 cows, 40 chickens. I honestly can't believe the pigs are then 500. That to me, I think that's probably why that caused the game crash. There you go, 5. Water trough's there, feed trough is just in here. Cows just sort of stand around outside the back here, really. Milk trigger's there. We've got a slurry point, where was that? Just around here, hidden amongst the undergrowth. And the manure pit is just there. And then we do have a bunker silo. If I open up my menu on my side panel, just there. I am on PlayStation. I've got my Logitech heavy equipment side panel plugged into my PlayStation Pro. So that's your bunker silo. Again, only a small one. Now this is where the map's not showing a silo. So I was going to say straight out, there's no silo on the map. You have to place your own. Then when I got around here, I found that. But weirdly, when I open up inside here, there doesn't appear to be, although there's that pile there, a tipping point. But also I drove the trailer around underneath here just to check, and there was no trigger came up. Normally, even if there's nothing in the silo, it will say empty, but you can roll through all the options available. I had absolutely no trigger come up for the silo at all. And plus, when you go into the menu and go across, we don't actually have anything. It says silos owned and silos other are blank on both. So I don't think you even start with a silo. So there you go. I mean, that's the map. That's Kaminki. From here, we follow this road round. Let's open that up again. And we come back around onto the main road, pretty much opposite the pig pen. There are some, like I said, there's some nice landscape features. There's a nice few little details here and there. It's a really nice small map for small machinery. It may not be your cup of tea at all. And like I say, there are a few issues with it. But some people are prepared to overlook any issues that come up in game and they'll just get on with it. And there we go, we are back to the start point at the bus stop opposite the pig farm. That's Kaminki. That's by Kaminoo, Pavelk 20. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.